Hey pilots, DK here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about something that's been weighing heavily on my mind, the struggle of finding a place to live as a member of Gen Z. It's not just a personal rant, but a reality that so many of us are facing right now. Let's dive into why it's becoming nearly impossible for us to survive in today's housing market. So let me start with my own story. A few months ago, I was on the hunt for an apartment. I had just landed a decent job, and I was feeling pretty optimistic, but that optimism quickly turned into frustration. Everywhere I looked, the rent prices were astronomical. Even the most basic, run-down apartments were asking for amounts that seemed unreasonable. It felt like I was constantly hitting a brick wall. To give you a bit of perspective, I talked to my parents about what it was like when they were my age. Back then, rent was affordable. They could get a place, pay their bills, and still have money left over for savings and leisure. Now, the situation is drastically different. The average rent in major cities has skyrocketed, but our wages haven't kept up. We're expected to shell out half, if not more, of our income just to have a roof over our heads. It's crazy. Let me throw some numbers at you. According to recent studies, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in a city like New York is around $3,500 a month. Even in less expensive cities, you're looking at $1,500 to $2,000 for a decent place. Meanwhile, the average salary for entry-level jobs is about $40,000 a year, which after taxes leaves us with roughly $2,700 a month. Do the math, and you'll see that we're left with barely enough to cover basic necessities, let alone save for the future. This financial strain takes a toll on our mental health too. It's stressful knowing that even with a full-time job, you're just one unexpected expense away from financial ruin. The constant pressure to make ends meet, to pay rent on time, and to save for emergencies is overwhelming. It feels like we're stuck in a never-ending cycle of stress and anxiety. Let me give you another example. One of my close friends recently had to move back in with their parents because they simply couldn't afford the rent anymore. They had a good job, they were responsible with their money, but it just wasn't enough. Moving back home felt like a step backward, and it took a toll on their mental health and sense of independence. This story isn't unique. It's something we're hearing more and more often. What's even more frustrating is that for many of us, owning a home feels like an unattainable dream. When you consider the skyrocketing property prices and the stagnant wages, saving up for a down payment seems almost impossible. Our parents were able to buy homes and build equity, but for us, that dream feels so far out of reach. So what can we do about it? Honestly, it's a tough question. There are no easy answers, but there are a few things we can push for. Advocating for higher wages is crucial. We need to support policies that aim to raise the minimum wage and ensure it keeps pace with the cost of living. Rent control and affordable housing initiatives can also make a significant difference. It's about making our voices heard and demanding changes that will help us survive and thrive. We also need to be smart about our finances. As hard as it is, budgeting and saving where we can is essential. Look for ways to cut costs, even if it means making some tough sacrifices. It's not fair that we have to live this way, but until things change, we have to do what we can to stay afloat. Another important step is building a supportive community. Share your stories, support one another, and find ways to help each other out. Whether it's through sharing housing, swapping tips on affordable living, or just being there to listen, having a strong network can make a big difference. In conclusion, the housing market is a harsh reality for us Gen Zers. It's disheartening to see how hard it is to find a place to live, even when we're working hard and doing everything right. But we can't lose hope. By coming together, raising awareness, and pushing for change, we can work towards a future where finding a place to live isn't a constant battle. Thanks for listening to my thoughts on this issue. If you're also struggling with housing, know that you're not alone. Drop your experiences in the comments below. Let's support each other and figure out how we can make a difference. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Until next time, take care and stay strong.